I called an Uber, and I'm supposed to be waiting for it over here, but I don't know when it's coming. Can you call it for me, please? I'm homeless. I don't know. It's him. Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah. That's My ID. My ID. Hey, do you know this guy? Absolutely not. Okay.
That's Darrell Brooks in the Ring camera there. That is him being arrested for driving his car through a Christmas parade, killing a whole bunch of folks, including children. He's now in custody facing those murder charges. He was in court today. Here he is when he gets in, and the audio wasn't turned up yet on the feed, but you can see he is saying something. The deputies come up behind him. This is the beginning of his outburst. So as you watch him here, you can see security gathering behind him. The judge is on the bench, but he's speaking out. And this is an important pretrial hearing for Darrell Brooks. So what I want to play for you now is when the audio is actually turned on and we can hear the exchange between Darrell Brooks, the accused mass killer, and the judge.
You got something to say too?
Mr. Brooks, the live stream is on.
I don't care about no live stream. Just like y'all don't care. All this political, this is a show. Y'all getting told what to do.
Mr.
Y'all
Brooks.
getting paid what to do.
Mr. Brooks, look at me for a minute. Mr. Brooks. Mr. Brooks,
You
look
sit
at
up here act like you know me. People like you don't, y'all
Mr.
you don't know
Brooks.
nothing about where I come from.
Mr. Brooks.
You push me, dog.
Don't push back then.
Mr. Brooks.
Don't push back.
Push me again.
Mr. Brooks, we have to continue with this hearing.
Want to talk to the judge or not?
No, I'm worried about, man, don't put your hand on me, dude.
Nobody put their hands on you.
They better not put their hand on me.
Okay, Mr. Brooks, you need to look at me for a minute, okay?
Why? To listen to all this political stuff y'all got going on?
Mr. Brooks, I'm more concerned about...
Don't touch me, dog. Stay seated.
Stay seated.
All right, we're going to take a break and we're going to come back after lunch. I'm not going to do this with him right now. He needs to be here. He's not cooperating. I'm going to give you the warning, Mr. I will give you the warning that if you continue to interrupt when we go back on the record, you will forfeit your right to be in the courtroom today. I can't have these interruptions. I want you here. It's been a long day and a half.
Get your hands off me.
We'll come back at 12:30.
I just told you to get off me.
12:30, everyone.
Thank you, Judge.
So this was a pretrial hearing. There's no jury, but when there's a trial, there'll be a jury. What happens? What will happen if Darrell Brooks is acting out like this in front of a jury? Let's bring back in the think tank, Bernardo Villalona, Brian Watkins, Philip Dubé with us. Philip, let me begin with you. Your thoughts about Darrell Brooks. What happens if he starts with another outburst like today, but we've got a jury inside the courtroom?
First of all, Vinny, and maybe Brian and Bernardo can back me on this, this is actually quite common. It is not unusual for defendants to be hyper agitated in court and to have outbursts and to act out like this. And frankly, I found it actually kind of mild in comparison to other clients I've had over the years, where they can throw furniture, they can spit and, actually throw punches and have secreted shanks on them and try to knife people. So this, frankly, is pretty mild. But one thing I must say is I really admire the judge, how she handled this. She had a very calm, tranquil demeanor, but she was firm with him. What do you do in a situation like this? Well, the first thing you do is you question his mental competency to proceed. He needs to be seen by a psych. It could be that he just needs medication. He may have the capacity to rationally assist in his defense, but he may just need a tranquilizer or a sedative just to calm him down a little bit. But if he in fact cannot rationally assist, even while medicated, he needs to go to the hospital and stay there till he is restored to competency. But let's assume he does have the capacity. He's just being a jerk, even when he's medicated. Then you know what? He gets his day in court. If he acts a fool in open court, then the judge has the power to deem him to have absented himself, and you go forward without him. And he'll have counsel in his stead to go forward with the trial. That is also not uncommon. Every jurisdiction has statutory rules that govern this type of behavior.
Well, Bernard, and my takeaway from everything Philip said is I'm not covering any trials in Los Angeles in person. not when they're pulling out secreted shanks and are stabbing people.
Yeah.
Not doing it.
Defenders get whacked. We get whacked.
Not doing it.
We do. Yeah.
Unbelievable. All right, Brian Watkins, let me ask you, which is worse, the outburst we saw there or what happened before the outburst? Take a look.
Briefly, Judge, I've observed that for about the past 40 minutes, Mr. Brooks appears to be asleep in the courtroom. I don't know if he's just being disrespectful, uninterested, or if he's not feeling well. But to avoid a appellate issue in the future, I think it'd be appropriate to inquire if he is capable of assisting in his own defense at this point.
All right, Brian, which is worse, a sleeping client or one who is screaming and out of control?
Well, obviously, the person who's screaming out of control is worse, because the problem with him screaming out of control is he's not screaming gibberish things to make us question his competency. He's pissed off. He's mad. He doesn't agree with the system. He feels victimized, and he obviously doesn't want to cooperate, with the judge and with the proceedings. That is just a jerk. And if he does that in front of the jury, then it's going to be an easy case, which it already is for the prosecution. That reminds me of Charles Manson. I know Vincent Belagosi got a lot of credit for winning the Charles Manson case, but I was like, a paralegal could have won that case when Charles Manson looks at the jury and says, "I'll kill you." I'm like, you don't even need a closing argument. He just made it for you. So the prosecution could have just not showed up or fell asleep, just like Mr. Brooks.
So, Bernarda, if the defendant is sleeping, who is tasked with waking him up?
Well, the problem is you have to see what's on the record, because while we can all see him sleeping, if no one puts on the record that he is sleeping, then what appellate issues do you have? The defense attorney has to make a record, because you have to cover yourself, because in the end, you have to provide effective counsel to your client. You're there as a representative for your client as the defense attorney, so it's your task to say something. The prosecutor as well, because you have to make sure that this is a fair proceeding that's taking place. You have to make sure that at least the defendant is also awake, and if he's not awake, approach the bench and let the judge know. The same way, like when you see a juror that's sleeping, you bring it to the attention of the judge, because you don't want an appellate issue. Prosecutor has to do the same thing, as well as the judge. But more importantly, it's the defense attorney who has to take the steps in order to notify the proper parties and see what needs to be done.
All right, we'll continue to follow what's happening out in Waukesha with this, because a horrific case, but strong case. Should be a very strong case for prosecutors. I don't suspect, or I don't anticipate hearing those two words. Anyhow, maybe we should do the trial in 2023 just to eliminate any possibility of that happening.